Hey, this is Nick from Remedy667.com, the best place on the internet for horror-themed fonts and typefaces. And today is Horror Font Friday, and we're taking a look at Alfred Hitchcock's Mystery Magazine. This is from 1980. This cover, so I think the lettering on the cover might have changed a couple times during the run. The movie we have going in the background is Crypt of the Living Dead from 1973. Has another name. I can't remember what that is right now, but we're gonna go ahead and start making some letters. So these are two different fonts. You can tell by looking at the S's. But this Hitchcock's one is the one I'm kind of more interested in. But there are a lot of similarities between the two, so I think there will be some useful information to be had by all. I question with the guides, like I feel like they should be kind of in the middle, but that also seems a little weird or wrong in other ways. But either way, we'll see. I don't have... I think the K drew me into this pretty good. But I don't have like a P or R or any characters like that. So I think that's kind of where I'm going to start. And in looking at the R here in Mystery, you can see that it has that same stem that the K has, and it's also doing something that the H does up here. So I want to go ahead and tilt this a little more so it's more even with the H. I want to smooth this off. I want to turn my guides off because just looking at it is driving me crazy. No, it's just distracting. So that goes out there. This we're going to cut over and just ride up to clear that area out a little bit. And here I'm going to do the same thing. Just kind of take it up like that, and that's going to be the start of kind of how the R works. We're going to use the O to try and put it together a little better. So this is feeling okay. This center to the R, I feel like it's because that's so low. Maybe the crossbar on the R, well, I guess it's not a crossbar here, but maybe like the line that extends on the R probably is not as intense as it is on the H. So that's pretty good. I want that interior to be a little more isolated. So I want it to be a little more even with that. And that'll give me like a thicker bit of an outline. So just kind of visualizing where this comes across and where that goes up. So it needs to come down a little bit. Maybe in a little bit and then back to the left. And I think that looks pretty good. And that gave us a good letter from the R, we will be able to make a P and a Q. It's weird, this like waviness here. Part of me wonders if the R should have that. No, part of me wonders if that's from me holding the book and taking a photo instead of doing a flat scan of it. And the reason I didn't do a flat scan of it is because this book got sold. My wife sold it on eBay. So but as I say that, I'm like, we probably have a ton of these. I bet if I go in the bathroom right now, there's probably an Alfred Hitchcock magazine. That Q is going to have that similar my N is going to follow a rule of width that will match the H. And that feels pretty good. Actually gonna cut that off, oddly enough, and bring it up to the top. Just because I want to have that same contour. I didn't want to have to draw that from scratch. I feel like trying to go out would and redraw this shape on the outside would have been a little less convincing to do than me drawing, just following up the center line there.
Hello.
Now, the N feels a little thick.
Excuse me, but does anybody here speak English?
Almost bold. So I'm thinking I'm going to duplicate it real quick. And I think it just needs a little more negative space. So, yes, those, these,
Hello.
and it ends up wide again. So what I want to do is change my angle. Before I even did that, I was like, oh, what are you doing? This isn't gonna do what you think it is. That's not the way. I think that feels a little bit better. I like that it kind of tucks in a little bit over here. And I think that's where the H's original crossbar was. I just did a sloppy pull. But I think that just that little cutting in a little bit, that like hand-drawn element, really kind of adds a lot to that letter. And now it's a lot thinner with the balance of negative space. It doesn't look as bold. Kind of looks more like it fits with the alphabet. I could probably do a little bit more to it, but you know what? No. Alright, it's kind of sad not having an E, but we see on the E here, it's essentially going to work the same as the H. and come across in 3. So I think what's going to happen then is the angle on the E is going to match
Those look kind of like totem poles.
that angle on the H.
Ward off evil spirits.
That's right.
Looks like my father chose the right island to study primitive culture. Is the graveyard next to the church up here?
Yes.
You'll see that the top one is a lot thinner,
You must be tired. Gotta
and
rest.
the middle actually is shorter,
My father really loved
and
this church,
top
didn't
is thinner.
He was restoring it.
But then we have to slide it back a little bit.
he? Where is your sister?
We'll meet her later.
And those should actually be even, which means, whoops,
Your father was a fine
I
man.
don't have any H in Mystery Magazine, but I can take this E and pull it just to give us an idea.
He understood.
And it looks like
He used to say how
it's
he
a
was
little
building into the
thinner.
past like an old suit, while you were building into the future.
Each of the lines are a little thinner.
He was very proud of it.
And it aligns with the bottom of the crossbar of the H. So that means that not only is the top a little smaller, but the bottom also will be a little smaller. Maybe not for the L though.
We didn't even know that your father had found this place. An old ruin that's been buried 600 years. The tomb itself is over 700 years old.
He's under that.
There was no way to get him out. When we tried, we couldn't budget. Must wait months.
That's not a bad looking E.
The only thing I can figure out is that these supports were old and about to give way, and your father brushed against one.
What was he doing under there?
I don't know. We never knew about this tomb. There's a maze of tunnels coming in and out of here.
Sorry, I'm just thinking. I think that it might be a little too wide.
I'm afraid that's something we'll never know.
Just a bit. I think I want those to go into there. Yeah, just to get them a little more even with that H. I feel like that also helps them not look as thin on the top and bottom. Makes it a little more natural feeling. Also going to go ahead and make a D real quick because
We know he touched down here once in the middle of the Second Crusade.
um,
Matter of fact, that's
so this is
I'm writing an historical
going
novel about the
to
crusade.
be all the rage.
I
Whoops.
remember. It applies forever.
The top of that D.
Hannah, 1269. For the
So I've
sake
been
of the dead,
doing some and getting somewhat excited, kind of excited about
been undisturbed until the coming of Christ,
making some
Father,
alternates
the Son, the Holy Ghost,
with Photoshop.
Her Majesty King Louis II.
And
You know, Hannah was supposed to have been quite a beauty.
I've been, this is something that I kind of do every once in a while. It's kind of time consuming. So I've been trying to optimize that part of the process.
What's that animal next to it?
You'll notice like sometimes, especially with layered fonts or even
Do you mean that
some not layered, like
she was supposed to have been a vampire?
did a font at one point. I think it was called like House of Mystery or something like that. I know I'm terrible, right? But it has like a kind of a gritty version and a clean version and an outline version, all these versions, and some of them layer and some of them don't. But a bunch of those were made in Photoshop. And I have documents when I say documents, I don't mean like a filing cabinet or anything. I have like Photoshop documents that are set up to like take alphabets and create new versions of them that are different levels of gritty. So with the original Hitchcock magazine, there's not really any overshoot on the C or the O, which feels weird. So
But the king overrode their fears and objections and landed with his men.
there shouldn't be any on the D either, right?
Found his lost crew. They'd all become vampires.
And Hannah? I see. And people actually believe a thing like this took place.
And so did your father.
But with the F, that overshoots to halfway with that little
Never a man with a greater belief in science.
dip on the bottom.
He was unshakable.
It has something to do with faith or science. He studied and watched.
Come on, Mary, you sound like you're beginning to believe that stuff yourself.
It's written in that book, signed by the king's personal mom.
G.
They found vampires, and the king orders crusaders to kill all of them.
Yeah.
I want to reflect this. This is one thing that working with these angled letters is not as fun sometimes. Trying to build out something like a G, but not necessarily because it's a G, more because I had to flip it, which means I have to go in and apply all these angles manually, which is whatever. Is what it is, but
She was buried alive and forever in the marble tomb.
now there that should, I feel,
And I'm gonna bury my father.
my nose itches. That should come out a little bit here based on the rules that we see in the E and stuff. It does, and it doesn't dip below. I just remembered, I was like, Nick, there's one in magazine. What's it doing in magazine? Just duplicate that, right? Here I'm explaining why I did it wrong, or why I did it different, I guess. None of this is necessarily wrong. I feel like in magazine too, it should be a little thinner. I'm not gonna look at my source material. I'm just making an educated I feel like that's probably how the G would look. I want to join all that together because this would be sticking out a little more. Like that. And you can also see the bottom sticks out a little bit more than the C did. I don't think I like that G. Feels too wide. Uh-oh, somebody's going mad. L. Just a small edit to that E. So then we're in a pretty good place, right? We're going to use our N because that was our H initially, and we just added a couple pieces to it. I'm going to slide this over. Command X, delete, Command F.
Mary's ghost stories. Sometimes they get to me too. Especially an empty stomach and a long foot no sleep.
So I've seen a lot of people use this method of making a U from an H.
Try to get some
But I think, and I was wondering if, kind of what's the best way to take care of that part, the center. I think I'm just gonna go low with it. And hope that that'll kind of look right. I believe it's probably gonna look a little too narrow near the bottom. No, that actually isn't too bad. And go group this, and then I can clean up that right side a little bit.
I didn't wake you up too early this morning with all this banging, but I had to get these hooks ready for the men to go to work.
Oops. So this feels like it should come out a little bit. I'm probably fucking all these up.
How'd you go for a nice cup of coffee?
You bet. Morning.
There's
Morning.
some issues there where
Crazy about you. They'll like you better when they get to know you.
Yeah?
I don't know. It might look too wide.
Chance.
It won't match the curvature on the C and the O because I keep kind of adding to the right because this font has like this super slight italic, like 3 degree or something.
Since I had the know-how, I helped him out. I'm kind of a jack of all trades.
But
So while I was banging away on fishing gear, he
I don't know. I'm just mumbling
Neighborhood barbershop.
and itching my nose, which is driving me crazy.
The local judge, doctor, marriage counselor.
I'm gonna make a J.
Hey,
Oh, let's make the B.
where's
If we got a P, right?
right around the corner there.
And the B is gonna function like the E, so excuse me, we're gonna take the E and use that as our base. In, low, yep. Higher and out. And slightly up.
On tomorrow's geography test, I'll expect you to know the name and shape of every major island in the Mediterranean. And since we live so close, all the countries between here and the Indian. And now, I want you to remember that anyone that I find playing in the cemetery will spend the whole day in the corner, just like Arda.
Not too bad.
School's out.
I feel like I want that to extend a little more. So these, I want that to be up just a tiny bit. Unlike the E, this one,
Look, teacher, could you just answer me one question? What are you doing here?
needed to be a little more narrow,
Teaching school.
and that's good.
And that's what brought you to this teaching.
I had a few weeks off. I got up to be here.
And we're actually going to bring that side in a little bit, up and up.
What? He was the only family I had. Your brother's a good friend.
Group.
Darwin and vampires. Hell of a combination. What was my father after that scared you so much?
Now there are A's all over this magazine mystery, and you can see they're all doing this like
I've learned
only sticking out on the left side thing. So
the answers even if I don't know what they are.
that came from the H.
What are the answers?
You wouldn't believe.
Do you think my father was starting
I'm
to
going to
believe
adjust
in
it from the
this
bottom
garbage?
left.
He was starting to.
And you?
And this one, I'm going to adjust from the
Funny
bottom
because
right.
you're damn near accusing him of paganism or worse.
Look, I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just telling you that you're meddling where you have no right.
Burying my father isn't meddling.
I warned you.
The M is going to be like 2 A's. So I think we're going to run into a similar problem that we had with the N, where our A actually needs to be
See,
a little
about 4 tons of marble.
thinner.
Do you think you can round up some strong backs to give me a hand?
I'm not gonna be anxious.
Gonna need some help.
I'll get it.
Good. Oh, I'll need enough lumber for scaffolds. I'll need rocks and timbers to reinforce the foundations. What are my chances for that?
And the crossbar is going to be the
Is there
same.
anything on this island heavier than data? I've got a rig
Lower
for delivery.
and out just a little bit. This actually needs to come in a little bit. It almost looks like it curves. And that's good. Okay. Sorry, I had to double check my
I'm breaking the seal. It's too heavy otherwise. This tomb must weigh 3 tons. Gotta move it in 2 sections.
So
Only what's left of her is.
I know I said the M was 2 ways,
All it can be after 700
but
years.
this is actually going to come in a little bit.
The tomb.
Same over here.
Ali, we've got to stop him before
Oops.
it's too late. No, we should help him, and I'm going to. You stay here. It's enough that those other fools went down there. But the American is a fine engineer. His father told me. His father said many things, and he's dead.
That's going to be our
It was no
M.
She caused it. Somehow. But Professor Bolton explained all about superstitions like that. He was a stranger. He didn't know. And his son doesn't understand either. What's there to understand? You can only believe what you see. No, Agnew. You can know. Believe without seeing.
Okay. We should be able to raise it now.
Look, God damn it. I don't think that there's a man here who doesn't know Professor Faber. Huey's fine. When your son fell off the
Sorry, getting silent. I'm just like, oh, I just want to finish this up real quick. As I was making it, I was just like, I don't like the way this works. The system's kind of broken. But it's a very loose piece of lettering. It may even be based on an actual font, but like I said, I think we're going to run an effect on this. So the version that actually gets released is going to have like grittiness in it. I'm going to go ahead and pause it as soon as I do this X, or else I will forget to do the X if I don't. So that's going to be a little wide. That's the bottom. For this. We go ahead and group that. I feel like this kind of maintains a weird 70s-ish hand-lettered effect. The alphabet has a lot of really weird things going on.
She's perfectly preserved. She looks a lot
It doesn't feel even. These
700 years.
letters feel to be weighted a little thin, but at the same time, like, I don't want to be competing with things like the M, you know?
Leave that stuff if you want it. You didn't.
Well, I don't know. There's just no logical explanation.
All right.
Your father had a saying. Logic comes by the whole light of dawn.
Yeah, the M just needs to be a little thicker, but that feels really big. I think one thing that M needs is to bring those sides in a little bit. And then beef it up in the width. Maybe not that much in the width. Alright, well, that's looking pretty good. Alright, sorry, I had to blow my nose and get some Gatorade. Gonna open this. Excuse me. And we are going to make that shape as well. All right, smart kern. So this is how it looks. It's actually not too bad. The X, the R, and the K, that like extended leg is going to need a little bit of like spacing in on the right side. But I think it's going to look pretty good. Some of the letters, the thickness, like the M and the N, doesn't really look that bad because it kind of balances with other letters like the T and the H. The B feels a little thin, especially on the bottom. And some of the angles, like here, the I and the D, those unmatching angles, those can really break. Not even make or break. Those can really break what I'm trying to do over here. D.S. Hitchcock. And that is how we're going to name it. And this will be the start to making some numbers. Ah.
It's all right. It's all right. He's gone.
Was he? He's horrible.
I don't know.
It's going to be like 780.38.
Safe.
I'm not adding a third decimal digit. I think that's close enough. Being as these are like hand lettering styled typefaces anyway, I don't think it's greatly,
There seemed to be no escape. I felt all alone.
Well, Peter was here.
you know, going to break anything
I did everything I could to get him to wrap
if
the
we're
switch and leave the island with me.
slightly off in sizes. It's mainly gonna matter kind of how it all comes together in the end. That's the most important part. All right,
Look here, little girl. Why didn't you tell me?
numbers.
Never would have believed me.
We shrink that in a little bit. We shrink that in and move up, and we're gonna have to angle it. One thing I didn't do with this font that I probably should have, that you see me do all the time, is I did not didn't make them all straight up and down the same angle at the beginning.
Do you mind?
But that's usually a big part of the practice, because when you do things like reflect, then it's like, oh, do I rotate it? Do I spin it in like this? You know, kind of what's the what's the best way to solve this character's error now that it's having. Like, it seems a little too thin. I'll widen it up there. Group. That's actually not too bad. I'm not going to use the C. I know I use the C a lot when I do this, but just see me move that up a little bit. The point of using the C a lot is to get those exact curves, you know, but with this font, the hand style of it, the fact that the B and the C are so different, because there's the third, it's not a stem, but like a C essentially just has the two, but the B has the third in the middle. And if you remember what we did with the H and the E, we had to shorten everything, which means the B and the C aren't going to match up anywhere near as close as they should. Whoops.
She's smart. 700 years smart. And she ain't about to get sealed up again. If she can help it.
You know this is crazy.
That's going to be how the 4 gets handled. I actually kind of like that.
I'm sure that dog pain is around Anna's too. It is the only thing that will keep her in there.
I think the 5, this side needs to squeeze in a little bit. And up. This lady's green face is giving me the heebie-jeebies. So now what we were just talking about with the E and the H and the B, this is going to happen in the 6. So went a little too high. So because now there's a third one in there, and actually this should come in a little bit as well. So they all get a little bit thinner just so it can function properly. Whoops. That angle was bad. I apologize.
Caught in the act, huh? Okay, I approve. And how I
I'm glad to hear you.
So in addition, because the 7 got cut like that, this side actually just needs curved a little bit more.
Chris, that's not fair. I never said I'd go.
Oh, yes, you'll go. And the sooner the better.
But who'll take care of you?
Who's going to take care of Screwball, brother?
Pete, I didn't mean it to sound like that.
8.
You see, Chris, I was a bloody genius.
Whoops.
Reed, Hemingway, Maynard. I had to put them all away.
Come on, Peter.
Betwixt the word and the deed, I mean, getting it down on paper didn't connect. I mean, I had plenty of ideas. I saw the whole scene before it started. Once I got into the research,
And the 9,
I get hung up.
which I'm going to rotate
Never wrote the book.
the C around to make the 9
What did I do?
instead of
Dropped out. I mean, I tried every
sorry,
scene in the
it's
book
very
I
hot.
saw. You name it, I did it.
Having allergies.
Uppers and downs, inners and outers until I was blown out, beat up, shot up. And I dripped.
Because had I
And I ripped.
just rotated it, I would have got a weird angle on the 9, and I didn't necessarily want that. Same thing again there with the 6 and the E. But those all come together pretty nice. And we're just going to continue on. Delete that. This 5 is going to come over here. So first thing we're doing is making those very tall and messing with the angle a little bit.
My father would kill me if he knew what I was doing.
Just make sure that steak
You
is
go
cooked,
ahead
son,
and
or we're all dead.
get those pretty clean. I'm actually going to make 3 of these.
I'm blind,
So the
but
first
I'm the
one,
only one that can see what's happening. Sure,
I'm probably not going to use all 3 of these.
It's the only way to stop her. Let's get on with it. The men will be getting to work soon.
I was taught by Professor Bolton that vampires are myths, that they aren't real.
Vampires are myths.
They're real enough. If you
Not in
feel
movie
the
land, my
flames
friend.
sinking in your neck,
What do you want me to do?
all you have to do is lead me into the tomb. Show me where her heart is. Then make sure I drive the stake right
All right. That's pretty good. So we're going to run into the weird issue again with the B.
Do you really believe that Hannah 700 years ago?
Feeling like it needs to come up a little more. So I think what I'm going to do
up some morning with
is
holes
ultimately go back into the B
What if she
and
comes?
fix that.
I told you to bring a cross. Hold it over her. It's like dog bane. Burns through her like acid.
That is going to round out. This is going to go away because now there's nothing actually crossing. Everything's a lot more rounded. Whoops. That should work like that. That makes sense. And this one will have a little bit of an angle.
We have no time. We must get to the tomb before the men get back to work.
And that's a pretty solid looking SZ.
I'm coming as fast as I can.
That appears to function well with the other letters. This is going to be a little weird because this is our
We'll be ready to seal the
circle.
You satisfied now?
Um,
Well, we'll give her another couple of
I want it to be kind of even. Whoops. The angle of it might be a little off. A little much. There we go. I just wanted to make it so it kind of matched that C a little bit, so it would feel like it belonged with the rest of the letters. Gonna cut that R, but still have it going. That was a big zoom out. And we're gonna make this little lowercase a here. Italic lowercase a, I should say.
Will you men come back later?
Why? Isn't one victim enough for you?
We may never know what went on down there, but we know this. He was trying to put an end to Hannah. He was trying to rid this island of her and the vampire superstition that's haunted you all for generations. Now, if he was right...
Was right. Why else is he dead?
All right, if he was right, then the only way out is for us to finish what he started.
How? The lid is covering her heart. There's no way to kill her.
Yes, there is. If we move the tomb like we started to do, then we'll seal the lid back on her tight and forever.
I'm just cleaning up that circle
Can if every man will help.
a little bit. I don't like that lowercase a. It feels way too heavy, but you got to remember that this font actually is
Do it quickly.
really heavy. So having a heavy at symbol like that actually kind of makes sense in a weird way. So let's make that our dash, our M dash, N dash.
Who do these things to my son? Whoever killed the old sailor
M dash,
and tried to carry off Mary. Let us sit with that there.
go ahead and group that. Let's bring another one of this over and we'll rotate it around and make that our equal sign.
The killing won't stop until we get her buried again and sealed up in her tomb.
And a little bit of shrinking and a little bit of an angle. And now we want the plus symbol. This happens a lot. It's backwards. Happens a lot with like angled fonts, but it should actually be kind of at an angle, and I feel like that actually, that's how it should look. I know I don't really say enough about what I'm doing when I'm doing this, but let me know in the comments or whatever. Send me an email to my website. No. No. My computer keys are getting sticky. All right. Can we hack this one before we go to the next layer? Where are we at on time? 50 minutes? Yeah, I think we'll probably end up around an hour 20 for this set. And then we'll do some more post. Edit it and post. It's supposed to rain on Monday, which is going to be awesome because it's like 100 degrees outside. And since it's Friday, that means we only have to wait until the whole weekend of 100-degree weather. I don't know if I ever mentioned this or mentioned it in a while, but I used to do the period right there. And the reasoning for that was the period used to be... Is it still? It used to be a character that I did not enjoy drawing that much. So doing it in the ganged up style of like, okay, you know, draw a period, comma, like all that at once was just like, ugh. I don't like having to do all those at once. I need it split up. So I used to draw the period here and then come into it later. Dollar sign or pound sign, also known as the hash sign these days. I saw an interesting video on the history of the pound sign and hash sign and how it kind of was originally a ligature of an LB, which stands for Libra, I believe. I could be wrong. But that's basically what the pound, like the sterling symbol, is. So that's kind of like an LB ligature sort of thing. According to the internet. I feel like type related stuff on the internet is usually pretty legit. There's a lot of people that research this sort of thing, and also a lot of ding-dongs out here like me just going fast, making it all, and videos of screaming people while they're relaxingly drawing letters. I want this to mush in a little bit more. This is going to be very thin as the strike out through the O, but that also means it's going to be very thin for the fraction, which will be good because it looks like the superscripts are going to also be coming in pretty small. That goes there, and I want another. Perfect. Let's just group those. I also, earlier in the week, I was jumping back into font validators because, I don't know, I came up with a character set that I was happy with. Then I was looking at the validator and I was like, I could be supporting more languages than I am. So look out for that. Could be doing some more extensive language research in the future, or multilingual support, not research. All right, let's get this period business over with. First thing I want to do is reflect this,
Happiness, that which you already have in this life. Rejoice and live it.
because that will need reflected later when we get to that part. That will also be needed later.
Oh, Hannah, my life and my all.
Peter, stop this.
Save me with such love as the night
Peter,
never
listen to
dies.
me.
So I want to smooth that in a little bit.
I shall never die but live. That's blasphemy.
I feel like I also want to do it on the period. I just don't want it to like protrude too much. Group that, group that. Move them over, group these.
Love is the light of my eyes, so that I shall never sleep in death.
That I want all the way at the end.
Die but live.
Do you understand me, Peter?
And
We're
live it.
going to
Just
stay together.
pushing stuff around.
That I'm saved. Saved from the
I
tortures
did
of
want
happiness.
to use this circle
Come away with me.
for my bullet. I did not know the origin of the bullet. I can do some research.
Mary, do you hear that? Simon,
Peter, come quickly.
Mary, she's come for us. We are angels of death. Couriers for our devil goddess. Nightly we shall make our rounds hand in hand.
Group,
A world with a brother and sister.
rotate that,
Not cursed.
duplicate, group.
I've worked for this day.
We want our backwards one.
To set Hannah free.
You mean you killed Chris's father?
He would have tried to prevent my setting her free.
And Chris?
Chris. He hadn't.
All right, so this is an example because it's so tight, the way it ended up coming together. These I'm gonna have to smush together and just soften the way they actually attach. Perfect. All right, so let's get into currency. And we're doing pretty good. I think we're probably hit the hour mark, or we're about to hit it in another minute. So it's tricky because normally you see on the other ones currency would have been on a different layer. So here we have the dollar sign and the equal sign, and those are big time things that I need to make. Gotta make that currency. Can't make that currency without them dollar signs.
Disappeared in the cave. Look over there. It's so dark. Look down by the creek.
Libra. Lira. Maybe. Did I say Libra? Lira. Sorry. I think I said Libra the first time too. It's been an hour and a minute. We're on pumpkin time. I'm gonna batch this together real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll finish up with our multilinguals and diacritics, and we'll take a quick look of some alternate kind of missing multilinguals that I hadn't been drawing, that I'm kind of thinking back into now that I should start including some of these. But I'm gonna pause. All right, diving back in. So before we get into that, we have to do, I think this might all fit. I don't know. OG, we have to do these. Whoa. That was mean. Do these here. And I don't know what they're called. Curly parentheses. Sorry. I mentioned it's 90 degrees, right? I'm sure wherever you live, it's probably always hot, but it's not. I'm not much of a hot weather person. I very much melt like a cat.
You need more blood.
What?
Well, here I am, Hannah.
Release compound path.
Come on, Hannah.
I'm going to group those, and I'm actually going to bring them in.
There's only one more hour till sunrise, and I won't let you back in your tube.
Oh, is the alternate movie this is like Hannah, Goddess of the Vampires? Does that sound right? Sound like something you've heard of? The lettering in the opening credits of this was really fun. Pretty sure it's actually a font, but that's not really any reason to completely undercut the fact that we could make a completely different, interesting version of it. If there's reason. The other thing is a lot of those old, like, Filma-type process, not all of those have been digitized into actual fonts. So, opening movie credits and stuff, like, I've talked to people in the past. I think it was a friend of mine. This guy, Paul Sermon, was telling me, I don't remember if this was Filmotype related or not, but was telling me about he had bought some specimens off of eBay. And the only reason I think it's Filmotype is because I don't know any of these people. But the guy that does all the Filmotype, like, he goes and collects them all, and then he, like, makes the fonts from the specimens the same way we all do this, you know. And but Paul was like, yeah, I bought this specimen off eBay, and the guy reached out to me, and apparently that's who he was, like, bidding against. And he's like, I need that specimen, like, whatever, when you're done with it, if you wouldn't mind because I'm the guy that digitizes these fonts and I don't have that one. So he was like, cool. And did whatever he needed to do with it, and then we'll let them do the font. I don't know why I keep thinking it's Filmotype. I think I just kind of like saying the word Filmotype at this point. So this is fun. This is going to smack right up. And the reasoning is obviously because that crossbar there needs to be a lot thinner. Oh, this is also going to be a weird one. And you know what? It's pretty much already... They set Hannah on fire and she is not happy about it. That's what's happening in the movie. I think she was probably killing townspeople or something. Can't say you didn't expect something like that was going to happen. Or maybe probably deserved it. Like... Not cool, Hannah. After I finish this, I'm going to do an illustration for a friend of ours' birthday. An illustration of them and their partner. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, though. My wife was like, you should do them on a train. Because they like trains. And I was like, okay. I'll figure it out. Trying to think, like, how do you make somebody on a train without drawing like the train? Like, the inside of a train is just gonna look like some Victorian artwork, I guess. Like, I don't know, like, there's all these associations. But I always like to draw, like, kind of spooky stuff sometimes, I guess. I don't know. People tell me this. So maybe I'll do like a Murder on the Orient Express thing. But my drawings are very cartoony. Believe it or not. There it is. This is going to be July D. This is our first time getting into a fourth layer here. And we're just going to do diacritics. And then we're going to talk about and draw some characters that we've been missing in the past. And I'll probably add some more layers into my builder. Oh, crap. I got to call Lenny this week. See if he can... I wanted to ask him. I saw him do a... like a he had put out a font on Retro Supply, and him and Dustin did a like a video call thing, which they do those every once in a while. They're super fun. If you ever see that, if you're in the Retro Supply emails and you ever see any of their emails come through that say, hey, we're doing like a free live call, if you can make it, they are all on the West Coast, so they're in a way later time zone than I am, so I can't always make it. I am a sleepy bum. But if you can make it, super recommend it. They're very fun. They're usually super casual. You can usually learn quite a bit because it's usually just somebody drawing. I guess it's similar to like a YouTube live or something. It's just people drawing live. You can like ask them questions in the chat. Yeah, but it's fun. So I watched one with Lenny, and he was talking about a new font he had made, and I was being active in the chat because it's fun. And then Dustin was like, they had said something like, oh, has anybody made a font before or something? And I was like, oh, I've made a couple fonts. And Dustin was like, don't listen to him, that's Nick. He's made a lot of fonts. Like, and then they were like, oh my God, wait, that's you. And I was like, oh, I always forget. There are places in the world where people know who I am, and it's because I don't. I'm just some guy that works out of his house. You know. Talk to my neighbors and people that I work for. Copy that Tilde. Tilde used to also be a hard character for me to draw. I still don't think I'm really that great at it. Alright, so that's it. Shut him down. Where'd we come in? An hour and 12 minutes? I thought it was going to be around an hour and 20 minutes. Let's look at this alphabet. Wow, that's wild. I'm definitely going to do some, maybe a different kind of version of it. Mainly because I feel like there isn't a whole lot of oh, wait, hold on while I'm here. Oh, I can't fix the B. Because the B is part of the lettering at this point. Doesn't matter. Excellent. I do have one of those. And there's one there too. Alright. Let's talk about some letters that I often have overlooked over the years. Most of them are going to be L, H, T, slash characters. I overlook them. Whoops. Per thousand, I overlook them. Movie ended, had to rewind it a bit. Sorry, I gotta have caps for this. ENJ. I don't know why I don't do these characters anymore. But I think I'm going to start bringing some of them back. There were also some diacritic characters on like the AE tilde. Those are just characters that I just don't make, but there's not really a reason not to, because they'd be super easy. But so like the L slash like this, and the H bar. Actually, that won't be coming off the other side. It normally does in that character, but I feel like it wouldn't in this font because the way this font's set up. Like, look, that was freaking easy. And now I've support for like another 20 languages. Like, why? Why did I stop that? I don't know. Per thousand, like, seriously, that simple. But so anyway, so the thing I was getting into with talking to Lenny is he, in this demonstration that they did, he kind of explained his process, which is very similar to mine. And I was like, oh, we got to talk about, like, I have some tips and tricks, like, that I think you would enjoy.
But when the knight
And
pointed stake to the last vampire's heart, Anna
we're like, we should
got thrusted in and
get on a phone call,
King went
but
and stopped the
we
knight.
just haven't. We text each other every once in a while, but
So he ordered a great tomb built in which to inter.
that's as far as it goes. But I want to know basically, because I think he uses font self the same way I do, but I was like, you know, I bet he would really benefit from the validator thing that I use, that I built.
And I'm gonna bury my father.
This IJ character, I wish I could tell you more about it. And I'm gonna have it dip a little bit. Oop. Sometimes I put it in there, sometimes I don't. I was looking at validators. I was also looking at people on, like, other title cards and like other things that people include in their fonts that I'm like, I don't include that. And a lot of things that people like automatically include, which I always have an FI and an FL ligature, but they are not usually necessarily ligatures. But I noticed a lot of people also include a TH and a TT ligature. And then they're like, yeah, that's it. That's all my ligatures. But let's go ahead and draw an FI and an FL. Before I started working on this font this afternoon, today, I was watching Color Me Blood Red by Herschel Gordon Lewis. And man, I love a good Herschel Gordon Lewis movie. Let me tell you, I love a bad Herschel Gordon Lewis movie. I got, when I was younger, not really, when I was like in college, I was super into Herschel Gordon Lewis movies. Mainly the Gore Girls and what's his other? Something Weird. Which if you're familiar with Something Weird video, it's named after that movie. So there's that also, which makes sense too if you're familiar with their catalog. They had a lot of Herschel Gordon Lewis stuff, and they, I guess, you know, rest in peace. I think you can currently find them on Cult Pix. You can find their films. I can't remember the guy's name. His passed a while ago, but his wife still runs the company, and they're great. Support them. Yeah, so look at this. Look at this magnificent foreign language support. I'm going to do a little bit more research on my multilingual support, and I think I'm going to start trying to assimilate those back into newer typefaces and probably add some of that into older typefaces. And I'll take a look at what that'll do for us. And hopefully some new people will find us. But all right, it's been an hour and almost 21 minutes. So I'm going to let you get back to your Friday. thank you for hanging out with me. I will talk to you soon. Send me an email. Say your videos are weird. I can't watch them to the end. The horror movies are terrible. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next week for Horror Fun Friday. Keep on doing stuff that's fun.